Before I begin, I'm going to be giving away a 2-movie collection of Home Alone 1 and Home Alone 2 on DVD. No purchase necessary. It's absolutely free. You don't even have to pay shipping. That's something I'll do for you. How do you win? Make sure to watch the entire video and then I'll tell you. Hey, what's up, classic TV and movie fans? My name is Rick9G. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to be talking about Home Alone. I would say it's my absolute favorite Christmas movie. There are a lot others that I really like, but this is one that I really wanted to cover at some point. And I wanted to look at little known facts, things that you may not have known about the movie. Now, it is a very, very famous film, and I'm going to assume that you have watched it several times. So we're going to get right into it. I won't really talk about the plot or anything like that. I'll just get right into these pretty amazing and pretty mind-blowing facts that I think you will absolutely love. Now, we have to begin with Macaulay Culkin. He was playing the little boy, Kevin McCallister. Now, Kevin is portrayed as a vulnerable kid. As he is home alone, he begins to reveal himself to be more confident and more brave than we once thought. So if you notice, watching the beginning of the movie, there's a change in camera angle. At the beginning with his family and so forth, they would portray him as puny, as being young and small. And so a lot of the camera angles would be from top to bottom, that is, looking down on him. But as the movie goes on and towards the end of the movies, that is when he builds up the confidence and takes care of the wet bandits, well, then he starts to be shot from below, which gives the impression that he's actually taller. So that's really cool, something that may have flown by most people's heads, but if you really look, it is there. Now, this is one of my favorite facts from the entire film. That has to do with that old-timey kind of gangster film. It was called Angels with Filthy Souls. Now, many people have figured this out, but it's really interesting to note that this film, this VCR film that Kevin McCallister popped in his VCR and started watching while he was eating ice cream, that was not a real movie. This is not an old-timey real movie. They actually filmed these and these scenes to look like an actual movie, but it wasn't. So they actually did this before they filmed Home Alone. They had some really cheap sets and got the actors and put them all together and filmed these pretty funny scenes. And again, they did it, with the keep you change, a filthy animal. That was, again, done for the movie. So while some people may casually look and think, wow, they really tied this old-timey movie into Home Alone, nope. That movie was made specifically for Home Alone. And in part 2 of Home Alone, that is Home Alone 2, there's another movie that he pops in. It's a sequel, Angels with Even Filthier Souls. And that, again, was made by the Home Alone team or the Home Alone crew. Very, very cool. Now, I'm sure many of you remember the van scene. That is where we have Kevin McCallister walking down the street nonchalantly on the sidewalk when we have Marv and Harry, our burglars, in that blue van coming closer, inching closer and closer to hitting Kevin. Now, they don't really hit him, but they get so close. They get about, 2-3 inches from his face. Now, it looked like it might have been a dangerous little stunt. However, rest assured, there was no way they were going to risk injury to Culkin and making sure that he wasn't going to get hurt during this pretty much iconic scene in the movie. Now, what they actually did, they pulled a trick, old-timey trick, and they filmed the scene in reverse. So they had Macaulay standing there, and then the van started really close to him and then pulled backwards, and he had to kind of act a little bit in reverse. The scene was very quick. It was almost 3 to 4 seconds on camera, and that's about it. So the van was pulling away. All they did was reverse the film, and it looked like it was coming toward him, and then it stopped right on him. Now, it took a little bit of editing to make it believable, but hey, the final shot came out great. Now, in the movie, Kevin McCallister's dad was played by John Hurd. Here he is on the plane, and he's reading a book. Take a note at the book he's reading. This is a small one, so if it's one of those Easter eggs that if you know, you know, but if you don't, it'll pass right by you. Now, you can see him reading this novel, and the author is Thomas McGuane. Now, if you may know, Thomas McGuane was once married to Margaret Kidder. Why is that interesting? Well, because this actor right here, John Hurd, was also previously married to Margaret Kidder. So that book ties these two men and Margaret Kidder together. Very, very interesting and very cool fact. Now, the ending of Home Alone is simply picturesque. The police catch the two wet bandits, Harry and Marv, and then Kevin McCallister is reunited with his mother, his father, and his entire family. But there was a different ending that they had in mind for Home Alone. That is with the topic of the movie that I mentioned, Angels with Filthy Souls. The movie they made, that is, the Home Alone people made to look like it was an old-timey movie. Now, in the original closing scene of the movie, Harry and Marv would be in prison, and there would be a television with a movie playing, and it would be Angels with Filthy Souls. They would then realize that the kid, Kevin McCallister, tricked them with this movie. Of course, they decided not to use this ending, but I want to know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you prefer this ending or the one we finally got in the movie itself? Now, with this little known fact, it's just to tell you it is my favorite part of the entire movie because I think it's the absolute most hilarious. So, by the way, that scream by Daniel Stern was real. It was when they took the tarantula and they put it on his face live on the set, and he was assured by the animal handlers that tarantulas do not have ears. So the tarantula's poison was not extracted, as some people have speculated. It was not, and this was all confirmed by Stern in 2015. Very, very funny. Speaking of Daniel Stern, he actually wore rubber feet. That is, very simple rubber prosthetics. What's that for? Well, to keep him pretty much warm during this scene outside in the quote-unquote snow. Wasn't really snow, but then also so that he wouldn't have to walk around barefoot, but it would look to us that he was barefoot because that's what the scene called for. I can't make a video like this without talking about Joe Pesci. Now, he and Daniel Stern, who both played the Wet Bandits, they felt a bit indifferent about the movie's potential. They didn't think it was going to be a hit success that it actually became. Now, during shooting, they intentionally said they gave over-the-top performances. They exaggerated a little bit more than normal. They didn't think they were making a quote-unquote serious movie, and so they had fun with it. They just went along with it, and neither one of them believed that the movie would become a success. When it did, it completely surprised them, and they even thought, well, was it because of these over-top performances? I don't know. You all tell me in the comments below. Now, Joe Pesci, during filming, he deliberately avoided any contact with Macaulay Culkin while he was on set. Why? Well, he wanted Culkin to think that he was mean. He wanted to keep up this persona during the entire portion of shooting so that a little boy like him would kind of associate Joe Pesci as not a great person, at least during filming. Later on, of course, it was all explained to him and so forth. But if you think about this, being 7, 8-year-old, and then just being on set with people that you don't know, and then have someone who just acts weird and mean all the time, right? You don't want to be with them, and then your performances are going to be a bit more realistic than if the guy was nice behind the scenes and so forth. Very interesting method acting. Now, in an interview in 2020, director Chris Columbus revealed in an interview that John Candy, who was a huge star at the point that he appeared in his cameo in Home Alone, he made this airport cameo as a favor to the movie's producer and screenwriter John Hughes, and he improvised all of his lines. However, John Candy was not happy with the fact that they only paid him, let me tell you, $414 for his efforts, which I think is such a shame for the talent. I don't even think it was appropriate for them to give him this amount. I want to know your thoughts down below. Does that show him respect, or hey, was that what he was worth? Who knows? But to me, that is like a slap in the face. $414. What do you think down below in the comments? Well, that's it for this video. I know many of you want to know how to win this DVD set of Home Alone 1 and 2. As I mentioned, it's absolutely free. You don't have to pay shipping. All I ask is that you become a supporter of the channel, which is absolutely free to do by hitting that subscribe button. Also, hit the thumbs up like button, and in the comments down below, roughly, let me know the year that you watched the movie. and it could be any year. The movie came out in 1990. It could be a rough guess. Basically, I just want a date between 1990 and the present, whenever you first watched the movie. Best guesstimate is great. And put anything else you'd like in the comment. So a year and anything else in the comment. If you have that year in there, then I know you are entering into the giveaway. And lastly, don't email me, but there's a link in the description. I'll also probably pin it as a comment. Click on that link. It'll send you to a page where you could just put in quick information so that when I pick the winner, I know exactly how to reach out to you. Thank you and good luck to all of you. We'll see you next time, and don't forget, be hopeful. Thank you to everyone for the support, especially my Diamond tier patrons: Citizen Kane 359, David D, Greg S, Kevin K, Ricky, Sally N, Ulysses the P, and Vito L. If you want to join the Patreon family, links are in the description. Thank you.